Good afternoon, Bloomington. It is Friday at 3:02 p.m. Just kidding, it's 3:05 p.m. You're listening to WIUX LP Bloomington, and this is Growing Pains, the show where we do a lot of cool things, including interviewing local and touring artists. Today, I am joined in the studio by a group who just had a great gig last night at the Bluebird. Yours truly, say hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, welcome to the studio. First time here, so exciting to have the four of you. This is just 4 out of 11, but I'm so thrilled to talk with you all today. I think first order of business is just to go around and meet who I'm with today. So how about you start?
Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm the band leader, and I'm also a vocalist, and yours truly.
I'm Aramide. I'm a vocalist.
My name's Elisha. I'm also a vocalist.
My name is Renee, and I'm a vocalist in the band.
Awesome. Well, welcome the four of you. Super excited to have you today for your on-air radio debut. We're going to talk a little bit about your origins, just who you are as a group, what people can expect from you. And you've also sent in some songs that you covered last night, so you can hear a little taste of what a listener might hear if they went to your shows. But first, I'm interested. Such a big group. How did you all meet, and when did you decide to form a band?
So last semester, I was kind of like, oh, I want to start this band up. Actually, it was kind of in the summer, like before the year ended last year. I was just like, oh, I want to start this band. I met a bunch of people through the IU Soul Review, and I met great musicians, great singers, and I was just like, how cool would it be if we had like our own thing? So in the fall of 2023, we kind of like jump-started, had some things going, and the band actually looked a lot different at the time than it does now, but it's gone through some phases, and so now we've gotten to the point where we're at where there's 5 female vocalists and then a 6-piece band behind us. And really just through networking, we've met a lot of great musicians, and all of us have gotten to come together and kind of make this band what it is now.
Yeah, awesome. And I was aware of some of you being from Soul Review because I know Jimmy, and he had told me he was part of the original project. But how many of those Soul Review members are currently in the band right now?
I would say all except for maybe 3 are Soul Review or Soul Review alum.
Okay, very cool. I am wondering because I got the chance to see Soul Review last year, and it was like one of the greatest shows I've seen in Bloomington. Just like so fun to watch, like your stage presences, everything. I'm wondering, like, that seems to be that's like part of your educational program, like you're working pretty consistently on that when you're in the program. What do you take from your Soul Review experience and put into this band, and what things do you leave behind, if anything, and try to break out of?
I definitely feel like being in Soul Review was a great foundation for starting this. I was even noticing that like last night. I was like, without having that educational foundation of, I don't know, knowing how to switch on and off from stage, knowing how to like pick up cues from each other, knowing how to rock the same way when we're on stage, all these like little things that you learn from class, like we're utilizing in our gigs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think it's a great foundation.
Yeah. How about y'all? Is there anything you take with you or leave behind?
I can say for me, definitely, I just love to be in spaces with people that it's just a very vulnerable space. Like we're all like people who just really love music, you know? And I think that is like one of the most important aspects when you're coming together and like in spaces like this and like working with people. I just think that that it's
special.
Yeah, it's really special, and that we've been able to create this bond in such a like short amount of time. Like, because I just met these people like last semester, honestly, through like our love for music, and I think it's just a really beautiful thing, and that's one thing that I've definitely taken away.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like Soul Review gave us like a space to like form the bonds that we have now, and it also, like Renee said, like created like this educational foundation, and like through that bond we just know how to perform together. It makes it a lot easier than if you like pick up like a guitarist off the street, a few vocalists off the street. Like you don't know them very well, but we're all like friends, and like we've made these connections, so it just makes it a lot easier to work together.
Yeah, that makes sense. And with so many people, I feel like you all have to get along and know how to communicate with each other to like make the ship run so effectively. But, well, that's awesome. I am so excited to talk with you all more about just how you all work together. I would love to play the first song you have picked out, though, which, if I scroll down, is Redbone, Childish Gambino. How do you go about like picking a song like this? What's your thought process in selecting the perfect song to cover?
I don't know. I feel like making a set is hard. Like, and I think this last show we just had kind of made us realize that, like, you have to, like, think of high energy, like, sing-alongs, like, things that people definitely know or want to hear. But we also want to stay true to the music that, like, is important to our culture as Black women. And so, like, we had to, like, kind of feel out that and just also how we want to perform. But, like, with Redbone specifically, I kind of let Renee, like, that's her song. So I don't know how she, like, feels about performing it. I'll let her kind of talk about that.
I love that song. I feel like I've known that song. It's such a popular song, and I feel like everyone vibes with it. Like, it's a slower song, but it's also like got this funk to it. I don't know. Like, it's for everyone to vibe to, no matter like who you are, what background you come from in the crowd. Like, that's a song everyone could get down to. So I love doing it.
And we're going to do that right here in the studio. So everyone, Redbone, Childish Gambino, enjoy. And we are back. That was Redbone by Childish Gambino. So we were just chatting a little bit over the break. Still accepting the fact that there are 11 people in the group that you all work with and do shows with. Obviously you came in as friends and people who had worked together in the past, but like, how do you go about conducting a rehearsal? How do you go about managing 11 people's schedules? Like, what is that process like?
I can start. So usually like in the band circumstances, we'll go into like sectionals. So like the band will go and practice like by themselves, and then like the vocalists will like conduct rehearsals like on our own and like make sure we have our things together, and then we'll like have like full band rehearsals where it's like we all get together and like we work through things, like critique things. That's, for the most part, that's how the basis goes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If anybody has anything to add, yeah.
Scheduling is probably by far the most difficult part because
Yeah.
not only are there 11 people, but there are 11 people who were in other bands and in other plays and are gigging and touring and doing all sorts of things. So it's very difficult to find rehearsal times that work for everyone. But when we do get together, I think we've gotten better at being a lot more efficient. We have rehearsal documents that Courtney sends out outlining what we're going to cover in that rehearsal. So I think we're getting the hang of things, but it's certainly a task.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, like, I found the most efficient way to schedule a full band rehearsal is to send, like, a let us meet link and, like, ask, hey, guys, fill this out for me. Tell me what days you're free to rehearse. And then, like, I have to go and, like, see each person's individual availability and then find a time that aligns for everybody, which, like Aramide and Elisha said, like, it can be a lot because it's, like, 11 people with very busy schedules. But that's why also I'm, like, we all have to love it or care about it, because if not, you fitting that in there is hard, but like we all like are dedicated, so it works out.
Yeah, and you almost function like an organization or a club with like that's enough to have, members and stuff. But I'm wondering, I was looking at your bios that you just posted, and which was so fun. I got to get some information ahead of time. But it looks like 3 of the vocalists are not doing anything musically related, or maybe aren't music majors or theater majors. And then you, Renee, are a theater major?
Yes.
And Alana is a musical theater major?
Yep.
For you, and if you want to speak on behalf of Alana too, how do you kind of balance performing for a school context or just for like a theater show versus like performing with a band at the Bluebird on a Thursday night?
Yeah, that's actually something that has been really hard for me to balance. It's ever since sophomore year. Like, I was in Soul Review, but I was also doing plays constantly because like that's what I'm going to school for, so that's what I got to do. But and I love it, and I love them both, so like finding the balance between, and it's also great because not only Courtney but also when I was in Soul Review, like people were so good. Like our vocal coach Andre like was so good about like giving me space to work in and like allowing me to figure out my schedule and like showing up 5 minutes late here or like not being able to make it to this rehearsal, but still like being dedicated on my own and practicing on my own. So when I do come, I'm prepared, you know what I'm saying? But it's also great because I can do the 2 things that I love at the same time, which is the ultimate dream. Like, why not do it all? Sometimes it's bad though, because it's like, take a break, Renee. I am constantly doing stuff, but so is everybody, like in their own way. So, and I think for Alana too, she's doing more than me. Like, I don't know how she does it, but I think it's like an everyday choice to like figure out how to manage your time.
I know I talked about like Soul Review and how that influenced you as performers now. How does your theater background, I mean, because it's like a completely different style of performing, just like acting on a stage versus performing, but do you kind of take anything from that? Do you feel like you're like putting on a character when you're performing?
Yes. Who you see on stage is not me, but like that's the point. Like that's the fun part for me. Like I can totally detach from who I am, and when I'm on stage I can just like be this other person. And I think that even when you're in a performance context like yours truly versus theater, you're using the same skills. Like you're using the same acting skills. Like it's a performance. You can, even if things aren't going right, like you're still on, and even like telling the story of a song. Like that's how you really engage an audience. You have to like know what the story's about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all storytelling.
Yeah. How about for the rest of you? Do you feel like you're all like naturally extroverted and this is just something you can pull out of your pocket, or do you really feel like you have to like assume a sort of character?
I can go. So naturally, I'm a very like extroverted person. So I am a freshman on campus, and so back in high school, I was super involved. Like I was in show choir. I was a cheerleader. I danced outside of school. I dibble-dabbled in like the theater department. I was like a vocalist for like our jazz band for like a sec. Like I did a lot. And so honestly, music is like my escape, like out of, because like you mentioned before, like I'm an accounting major, so like I'm not going to school for like anything musical, but for me to have something like this in my life, it's like it's kind of like a distraction from, because like in the business school in Kelly, that's like a whole different like world and like demeanor, but music for me is like my escape. And like one of the things that I like to say is that music is not only to hear, but it's to feel. And so honestly, like just when I'm in these spaces, I just appreciate them so much more because it's just another reality for me to like go to outside of my everyday day-to-day.
Yeah, awesome. Beautifully said.
Thank you. I don't know how I think about it. I can't tell if I do a character. I like to think I just get up there and sing and dance and then vibe. But I don't know. In terms of me, my musical background, I grew up singing at my church, and so a lot of things will go wrong or right at church, and you kind of have to maneuver from there. And then from my experience at IU, I was lucky enough to be in the jazz voice department for some time here. And so I think like that background, my church background, kind of tie into whoever I am on stage. I like to think it's myself, but it's maybe a version of myself that's a little more chill.
Yeah.
For me, I've been singing since I was 4. And I was in show choir in high school. I did choir in middle school. I used to be a little more, like, I would say timid until, like, my senior year of high school, like, in terms of performance. And I think through the band and, like, especially coming out of Soul Review, I feel like Soul Review definitely helped me hone in on, like, okay, who am I as a performer? And then, like, utilizing that in the band. But, like, I will say for me, it is a character. Like, I feel like on stage I can give a different persona, like, depending on the song. And, like, engaging with the audience definitely helps. And, like, I kind of just, like, get into the music and, like, go into a place that maybe won't be, like, who I am naturally day to day. But I'm extroverted, just not, like, that, like, person on stage looks a lot different than who I am, like, day to day for me.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like, and especially at a venue like Bluebird, where you've got a wide variety of people there for a wide variety of reasons, having very different nights, like, you've got to engage and kind of feel out the crowd. And I think people always appreciate, like, when it feels personal and when, like, you're being interacted with. So that's really cool to hear your just backgrounds and experiences in music. We have more to talk about, more questions. I would love to play the second song that we have on the list, Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic. That's a fun one. Any thoughts about that before we get into it?
Oh, I led that, and Aramide definitely helped me with that one.
That was fun to sing last night.
Yes, it was. I before, like, we did it, I was like, we might have to cut this one, because it was kind of hard for me, and then that's where, like, that, like, connection between us comes, and I'm like, hey, Aramide, can you do this part? And then we kind of bounce off each other, but it was definitely fun.
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun.
Awesome. Well, we'll listen to it right now. Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic. Enjoy.
I'm sipping, don't say that, shut your trap. I'm sipping wine. Say baby, what you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. Don't say that, shut your trap. I'm sipping wine. In a robe, I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm, just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I ain't playing no
And we are back. That was Leave the Door Open, Silk Sonic. Hope you enjoyed. Over the break, you guys were talking about, you had a long show last night. Some songs made it through, some songs did not.
Yeah.
Sadly.
How do you, well, I want to talk more about the show soon, but how do you know when a song is working and is going to make it? And how do you know when a song is flopping and is not in the cards for that night?
So it depends on whether it's, so we cut some songs during the rehearsal process, like when we were preparing for the show, and then we obviously had to cut some songs at the show for time's sake. I would say during the rehearsal process, we look at things like how comfortable the vocalists are singing it, how well the band is playing it, and how it's progressing in that direction. And then during the show, it's just what songs do we feel the most comfortable on versus the least comfortable on? What songs do we feel like if we take out won't disrupt the flow of the show? What songs do we think the audience would eat up and we don't want to cut? Things like that.
Yeah, I'll say too, like, in terms of like all the, in terms of all the cuts and stuff that happened too, like this is my first time like having to make like a full like headlining set list, and like vocals helped a lot. Like, you know, we got some like input from individual people in the band and stuff, but I feel like definitely at first I was a lot more like optimistic and like overboard than I probably should have been, but that's because I've never done it. And so like now we kind of know like, okay, next time we'll do this amount of songs so we don't have to cut, and we'll do songs we're comfortable with, stuff like that. But basically what Aramide said, like it kind of just depends how well it's going in rehearsal and close to show. It's like if we're 2 days from the show and a song isn't together, we don't need to do it, basically.
Right. And you said you brought in how many songs into this last night's set?
Well, so it was our first time headlining, and so we started around around 10, and we ended at 1 with like a 10-minute set break. So we had 2.5 hours ish worth of songs.
Oh my goodness.
And I think we ended up doing 36.
I think, about between 34, 36 songs, we ended up doing,
And we
because
had
made
more.
some cuts on stage. And we had more before that. Like, before the show, like, I think we were at like 42. Yeah. I was crazy for that.
Ambitious.
Yeah. Ambitious.
It's like very impressive. Just like occupying stage, just memorizing the lyrics, memorizing your parts, like being on for that amount of time.
The lyrics. Heavy on the lyrics.
Yeah.
How do you like even and I know that some songs, some of you might take the leads over the others so people can take a break, but like how do you go about like making sure you can keep it going for that long?
So first, as vocalists, since we have the set list more or less defined, we sit down with the 5 of us and sort of talk through who's singing lead on this song, who wants to sing background on this song. So that way, generally, people aren't going to be learning songs that they don't like or that they don't want to sing on.
Right.
And then in terms of the learning process, typically we'll have a good amount of time out before the show to focus on learning the lyrics. We have vocal rehearsals pretty regularly. So at least for me, I'll be listening to the songs throughout the day, learning my part, learning the lyrics, and studying the lyrics, and making sure I know the lyrics.
I would say one thing for me too, I definitely try to incorporate it throughout, like Aramide said, like my daily life. Like I'll be having to give up my very loved playlist, and I'll play like the band playlist, and I'll just listen to it, because I think one thing that just really helps me personally is if I just get it in my head and I just constantly like replay, and it's like it'll eventually stick. And then also I think everybody's just super like musically inclined, and it's like we're doing music that we love as well. Like this is like stuff that we listen to like on a day-to-day as well. So I'd say we also have an advantage in that too.
Yeah. How do you feel like there's much improvisation built into a set like this, or do you feel pretty like rigid in what you got to do?
I feel okay. So like, for example, like if in a show, like let's say like vocally we make a mistake, or like we skip to a bridge instead of like going back to like the chorus that we're supposed to hit, like the band just has to follow you, because like at that point, like, well, they're going. Or like, for example, like last night at the end we did Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, and like last night, like at the end of the song it was supposed to end a certain way, but the band kept playing, so then I like did these riffs at the end just because I was like, well, we're still going. And like I feel like it is a lot of improvisation, like on stage in a performance, just because you never know what will happen. Like that's just how it goes.
That's so true. Also, a part of that is like what makes it so fun for me. Like, of course, there is a certain amount of stuff that you have to have set in stone. Like if we're going to go back to the bridge and go to the chorus. But also if someone's feeling something, we can have that connection by looking at each other on stage, like give a little like hand signal to do it another round, especially like whatever the crowd is feeding off of the song too. Like if you want to keep it going. I love that part of performing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you have any tales from last night? Just
Oh no.
What?
I actually have a tale. So I need like water on stage with me constantly. Like my voice, like it gets dried out and it's like, no, I need it. Like I have to have it like right there beside me. And so I was a little lit. I was a little too lit and I knocked my water over. And I was right there over by our keyboardist, Devin. And so the water's like spilling. Like it's like the chords are on the floor. I'm like, oh God, like it's gonna, literally I had to play this off smooth. Like I was like, oh no. God. So like I think it was I Wanna Dance. I think it was a Aramide song. Yes, it was the I Wanna Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. So it's like water on the floor. I'm like, oh my God, the like chords are gonna short. So I'm like, I'm vibing still, trying to like pick up the chords and trying to like put them over. And so in the audience, I didn't know this. Oh no, guys! Like this,
this is
I was vibing, but in the audience, one of my old choreographer Troy, he's the choreographer for Soul Review. He was in the audience there supporting us, and he saw, and so he had a hoodie. And so he took it off and he was like, here, he was like, okay. And so I like grooved over, I danced over. I was like, yeah, I want to dance. And so I grabbed the hoodie and I put it on the floor and I put the chords on top of it and it was vibes. Wow. And like we were vibing, like, no clue. But that definitely happened last night.
We're on stage and we don't even like see stuff like that because you're just in it. Like
you're just in it and then it's like, oh, yeah. But we had to think quick. But thank God for Troy. Shout out to Troy.
Shout out Troy.
Well, I guess my little tale might be during our set break, we're like scrambling looking for our set set list.
Oh my goodness.
So like we had our set list printed off. We had vocal set list and then we have a band set list. So the vocals have like our names, our backgrounds, like, for us. Cause like we definitely should know exactly what songs we're on, but sometimes you need to know what song's coming next. And like sometimes you do forget like, dang, am I on this song? And then the band has a set list with their keys on it. So like, theirs were already on stage, and we're like, oh, okay, our set twos are backstage. We're looking around, and then someone was like, oh, yeah, I think they got wet. And then, so they were wet and ripping apart, and we're like, dang, like, what are we going to do? I find one that's, like, kind of, like, legible and, like, soaking wet, and I put it on stage. And then there was, luckily, one up there, and our guitarist had one near us, but we were like, Jesus. It's crazy.
But you make it work. It work. I am curious. You so far have just performed at the Bluebird. Is that right with this group?
No. So actually, we've got some little side quests here and there. Like there's some like before the band was like solidified into what it is now.
Right.
We actually did a Busk at Dusk gig last semester. It was like in front of the Monroe County Library, and that was actually when it was me, Elisha, Caleb.
Yes.
And we were the three vocalists.
Yeah. And at that point in time, too, I wasn't even an official, like, member. Like, I was filling in for, like, Renee and, like, Alana. Because originally it was Courtney, Renee, Alana, and then our friend Caleb. But I was filling in because, like you said, like, Alana and Renee, they're theater majors. They're very busy. And so Courtney was like, hey, like, do you want to come like fill in for we're going to sing outside? I was like, of course, like, duh. And now, here we are.
Me and Elisha also did a gig at the Indianapolis airport.
Oh, yes, we did with Andre, our vocal coach. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So we've done some little side things here and there, but right now Bluebird has been like our kind of like open door, like I guess getting us more traction and stuff too. We've done a few openers there, and then this was our first headliner last night.
Yeah, awesome. What's the goal? Like keep filling up your Bluebird spots. Are there any other locations in town you'd want to play?
Yes, we've been looking into a couple of different venues. We know that Bloomington is a great place for live music. And so we're in the process of reaching out to some other venues. I know one of the people we've been in talks with was Moonroof. They have a really nice house atmosphere for live musicians to come to, but definitely a lot of other things in the works.
Awesome. And how do you kind of make of yourself in the Bloomington music scene? Like, you definitely operate in a niche sphere, being like 5 vocalists with, there are like definitely big or cover bands that exist and gig around, but like, how do you view yourselves in the music scene? And like, yeah, that's my question.
Not only are we 5 vocalists, but we're 5 female Black vocalists, which I feel like is something that Bloomington doesn't really have right now. So I feel like it is a great avenue for us to, you know, come in and bring something different to the Bloomington music scene. And yeah, that's how I view us.
I feel like because of that aspect, we're able to kind of do songs like Doo-Wop That Thing by Lauryn Hill, and like people in the audience might not know it, but man, do they enjoy it, because it's like, it's like we're bringing our culture into that space, and like people are like appreciating it and learning about it. And I think that's kind of what's been important to me. Like when the band became what it was now, I just wanted us to like still be ourselves and also kind of feed into the niches that, you know, if you want popularity in a certain scene, you may have to feed into. But like, we love doing everything, you know?
Yeah. And another thing that warmed my heart was, especially last night at the Bluebird, I had never seen it so diverse. There were so many different types of people there. Which I think is a great part about doing the kind of music that we do.
Yeah. I feel like audiences will always reflect the people on stage, and like that's a nice thing to have, you know, right in front of you. So, speaking of Doo-Wop That Thing, I have it ready to play. So we'll listen to that, Miss Lauryn Hill. Everyone enjoy.
Girls, you know you better watch out. Some guys, some girls are only about that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. Wave your hands in the air and let 2 shots in the atmosphere. It's been 3 weeks since you were looking for your friend, the one you let hit it and never called you again. Remember when he told you he was about to Benjamins? You act like you ain't him, they give him a little trim to begin. Now you think you really gon' pretend like you wasn't down and you called him again. Plus when you give it up so easy, you ain't even fooling him. If you did it then you probably can. Talking out your neck saying you're a Christian, a Muslim, sleeping with the gin. Now that was the sin that did Jezebel in. Who you gonna tell when the repercussions spin? Showing off your ass cause you thinking it's a trend, girlfriend. Let me break it down for you again. You know I only said cause I'm truly genuine. Don't be a hard rock when you really are a gem, baby girl. Respect is just the minimum. Nigga, you still defending them now. Lauren is only human. Don't think I haven't been through the same predicament. Let it sit inside your head like a million women in Philly pen. It's silly when girls sell their souls because it's sin. Look at where you be in. Hair weaves like Europeans. Fake nails done by Koreans. Come again. Yo, a win-win. Come again. Dedicated to the man, more concerned with his rims and his Timbs and his women. Him and his man come in the club like hooligans. Don't care who they your fan, poppin' yang. Like you got yang. Let's not pretend. The one that pack pissed out by the waist, man. Crissed out by the casement. Still the name of the basement. The pretty face man claiming that they did a bid, man. Need to take care of their 3 and 4 kids. Been the face in court case when the child support's late. Money taking, heart breaking. Now you wonder why women hate men. The sneaky silent man. The punk domestic violence man. The quick to shoot some even stop acting like boys and be men. How you gon' win when you ain't right within? How you gon' win when you ain't right within? How you gon' win when you ain't right within? Come again. Yo, come again. The red drink, come again. And 6 drink, come again.
And we're back. That was Miss Lauren Hill. Do up that thing. We've got about 10 minutes left with yours truly. I am curious just to learn a little bit more fun things about you. 11 people. Do you all have a pre-show or post-show ritual? Or do you just show up?
I mean, I don't know. Like, we've had, like, last night we did like a all right, on 3, yours truly, like right before the show started. And like usually like we try to all kind of like hang out. I feel like vocally we kind of hang out a lot too. Like before, like, wait, did we do a one show and we like got food before or something? I don't know.
Like, yeah, like we're all friends, so it's kind of like a like we just vibe, with
How
each
the
other.
day goes.
Yeah, I would.
Traditions and everything.
I would say one thing we did though last night at our encore was Applause by Lady Gaga. And at the end of it, the little sound in there, it's like so we came up with like, oh, we should like do like yours truly, like, and so that was something that I personally loved, and I think that's something we should keep implementing into like shows in the future, like not necessarily with that song, but like anywhere in any song where we can like fit in like our little brand, like our name or like things like that. So
I designed stickers for us, and I kind of was like, we're gonna like just give these out, like not really like this isn't like a ritual, but just things for branding, like things to make people like remember us and stuff. Like, so I did some stickers and I like designed them, and I was like, okay, my best friend's gonna pass these out in the audience. So like they got rid of them, and there was like 60 stickers and they're gone. So they gave them all out, and like people are like, I need some more, you guys gotta make more. So like stuff like that's really cool too.
That's super cool. Can I ask where the name came from? I was telling people I was interviewing yours truly, and they were like, you're interviewing yourself? And I was like, no, I'm interviewing a band.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I was having a conversation with someone, and I was just like, yours truly. Like, and I was like, that sounds so good. And then we, like, had this, like, rose theme, like the dead roses. Yeah. And, like, then once it became a girls group, I started implementing, like, the kiss. Like, there's, like, the kiss emoji that, like, stays consistent. And, like, I just kind of was like, I don't know, it's like a love letter, like we're like telling this story, and like it's like our story, and so like yours truly, I don't know. I
love that, like you're signing a letter and then you're like, mwah.
Yeah, at the end. The kiss, and the flower. Yeah. But I don't know, I really like it. I really feel like I just was like having a conversation, and it just kind of came to me. But, and then people were like, yours truly, because like it sounds weird, like when you say it out of context, like it doesn't make sense sometimes. So that's why then the band yours truly kind of comes in there, so that people are like, oh, it's different.
Yeah, but think of all the weird band names that like have become you're so used to it now.
Yeah,
like, Tame Impala, what was that? You know,
right?
And now we just say it.
Florence plus the Machine.
Yeah. Right. Like, what does that mean? But no, I think it's really good. I think your branding is like very cool. You all are definitely like very committed and in it in a way that I can definitely appreciate. Like you guys are putting everything into it. What are your hopes for the future? Like, I know a couple of you are seniors. Not to bring that up.
Tears. I am the senior.
Yeah.
And so I will be leaving in May, but. In terms of like my hopes, I remember I had a conversation with Courtney last semester, and I was like, listen, Courtney, if we're doing this, I'm in it. And like, I want to see the band be as successful as possible. And I would say I don't even want to, I'll manifest them on my own time, because I think the bounds are really limitless for where the band could go. I know that when I do graduate and when I'm in grad school, I'm sure they're going to continue gigging and doing really cool things. And a lot of opportunities are in the future. Yeah, I'm sure.
When this semester started, I started the year, I didn't have any New Year's resolutions outside of the fact that I was like, I want my band to play at least 6 shows this semester, which seems like not a lot, but I was like, because we're new, you know, I was like 6 would like make me happy. And then like now, like the traction that we've gained in such a short amount of time, and the image and the brand that we have and what's capable for us, like just, I work with such talented people. Like, I feel like there's so many possibilities, and we'd love to do it all. Like, we're trying to like record like a like a original song, and like
Oh, awesome.
we're gonna try to like make t-shirt, like I don't know, just everything, because why not? And so that's my hope, is to make it go as far as it can, and like continue having fun, but more than anything, continue having fun with everyone. Like that's what means the most to me.
Yeah, awesome. And if you had to give any advice to young musicians in Bloomington looking to make a band of their own, what would you say? What's your advice?
I would say don't be afraid to talk to people who have similar interests in you. Don't be afraid to network, even though like sometimes it can be scary, like to talk to new people, but like that's what makes things happen. That's what makes you get to where you want to be. And also do it because you love it. Like do it for the music. Do it because you love performing, because you love the instrument, because you love each other. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Beautiful. Any other pieces of advice?
I would say don't be afraid to ask questions, whether you need a favor, whether you need advice. I know that Bloomington has such a rich history of music, and there's a lot of older musicians who are ready and willing to advise younger people. I know we've really benefited from the advice of some older musicians that we know. And so ask for advice, ask clarifying questions, ask for opportunities, because literally the worst they could say is no. No one's going to spit in your face, you know? Exactly, yeah. So just ask.
I bounce off of that. Like, I never thought that this little idea that I had and like throwing all these people together could be what it was. And I've been very sentimental lately, so I might cry. But no, like, I never thought that it was going to be possible. Sometimes you get imposter syndrome and you're like, oh, this isn't meant for me, and all these things. Don't let all of the self-doubt, don't let anxiety, all of that hold you back, because before I got to meet all of these great people, like I was so anxious and I didn't feel like confident in myself. And so like I feel like believe in your abilities and your talents, and like know that like there are people like you around. Like find them. They're there.
Exactly. And like to bounce off of Courtney, like you cannot be afraid to take risk. Like life honestly starts on that other side of fear. Like you have to, because there is a bunch of uncertainty. Like Courtney was just saying, like we had no idea like we were gonna be like where we are now. Like I couldn't even see this like a couple of months ago, but you honestly just have to stick with it and like really love what you do and like be passionate about it, because it can be a lot, and it is a lot. But I think as long as you keep that first, just keep your love for music first. Yeah. Or you're not afraid to take risk and try new things, you will be great.
Yeah. For sure.
Wonderful. I mean, I felt inspired from that. I feel like the thing is, it's okay to wait until you meet the right people, but once you meet those people, like, go for it.
It comes
like,
together. It really does.
Go for it. Yeah. Well, yours truly. Thank you so much for joining me on the air today. This has been so wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
We're so grateful.
Of course. Yes. And everyone listening can find you at the band Yours Truly on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Stay tuned for show announcements.
TikTok to come.
Ooh.
More shows to come.
The branding expands.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, it was wonderful to be joined by you ladies. This has been Growing Pains. My name's Natalie. I'll be here next week with Spirit of 68, the promotions company, talking about how they book shows in Bloomington. Hope you enjoy your Fridays. Have a great weekend, and goodbye.